can't believe this is going.
I know, it's going to be really sad to see it go.
It's been years as well. It's been years. Right. Okay, we're supposed to be ready to get on with it.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Behind me here in the garage is a very, very cool car. Now, I've been working on this car for a few years, long before I started the channel. It just so happens that plans have changed with it, and actually I've been given an opportunity to show you around what has been a very impressive build, and we've kind of been keeping secret because the owner's a very private guy, but plans have changed and now the car's got to go. So this is my opportunity to show you just how cool this is. So this is the story of this car. Back in June 2020, a friend of mine who had dreamt of having one of these since he was a little boy was finally in the position to buy one. And one came up not too far from where I live, and he asked me to go and have a look at it. And it was a little bit ropey, and let's be honest, in the middle of 2020, it wasn't the best time to be going out and looking at cars and potentially investing in what is ultimately a toy. But we found the car, it needed a bit of work doing to it, and so he bought it. That was kind of the end of the good news for a while, because it got a little bit crazy from there. So what happened next was he was introduced to a mechanic who said he would take on the car, do some mechanical work to it, electrical, bit of body work, and basically get the car tarted up a little bit so that he could have it on the road, which sounded amazing. Unfortunately, he didn't really do what he said he was going to do. And this is how bad it got. We were both in communication with the mechanic for some time, and he was sending us messages and pictures like he was working on the car. But 3 or 4 months went past, and we knew there was a lot to do, and he was doing it around other cars, but ultimately, something didn't seem right. And then one day, I get a phone call, and my friend phones me up, very, very upset, to say the previous owner of the car has got in touch and said, look, it's not my car anymore. I don't really mind what you do with it, but it's a bit sad that you've let it go to waste. And my friend said, what do you mean? He said, well, the car is in a scrapyard. So obviously my friend panicked, and we found out it was in a scrapyard. Fortunately, we had enough time to go and reclaim it. But what had happened was this guy had parked the car illegally, because it wasn't taxed or insured, on a road just up the road from here, and left it. And people knew about it. We didn't know about it. It was, you know, out of the way, but it'd been sat there for months, gathering dust and leaves and dirt, until eventually the council decided that they wanted to reclaim the vehicle back to a scrapyard, get it off the road. And that was the first we heard about it. So no work had been done to the car. In fact, if anything, it was in worse condition than when we originally got it. So we had the car reclaimed back to a garage in Bournemouth, and from there it was deciding what to do with it. We had lost at this point probably 6 months, and really it needed somebody to look at the bodywork. It was getting worse and worse. So we took it for an MOT. They looked around it and said, here's the list of things you need to fix. So it went off to have those things fixed. And then after that, it needs a respray. So it went off for a respray. It had probably one of the worst jobs I have ever seen done to a car. Anybody who has ever had their car resprayed or even done patchwork knows that you do not spray over the rubber trims on the vehicle. It's just not done. It looks terrible. It doesn't do any good to the rubbers. Sometimes you have to replace them. This car wasn't even properly masked. It was just blown over. My friend was charged a lot of money and then ended up in, you know, a huge dispute, as you can imagine, over an incredibly poor job. Now, as you can see this at the moment, this has had a fresh spray job. Yes, it's a little bit covered in dust. It's been in here for a few weeks, and I've actually been doing some work on the interior. So it does need a good clean and a polish. However, it has just been resprayed from nose to tail. The thing is, and this is the sad bit, is that my friend, sadly, due to personal circumstances, with the car at probably 95% completion, now has to let it go. So close to being the car that he wanted to drive around in. it has to go and find a new owner. And it's awful for me. I've put a lot of time into this vehicle over the last few years. It's come and gone from my garage and I've helped out where I can. You'll have probably seen on the channel last year, I had the dashboard out of this and the dashboard was an absolute mess. And as you can imagine, no manual to go with it. So I was trying to put it back together again as best as I could. And then I got the dashboard back into the car and we had a few little issues and things that needed tweaking. And he eventually phoned me up one day and said, I'm really, really sorry, we have no time left. It has to go as it is. So somebody out there who loves the knightrider series, who's always wanted one of these, is going to get an amazing car. Now, there are some things on it that need sorting. It's not 100% complete, but it's pretty close. So for somebody who just wants to do little bits and pieces and isn't interested in a full rebuild, this is going to suit you down to the ground. So let me take you around the car. Obviously, the first thing that stands out is that you've got the knightrider pursuit lights in the front, and then there's hidden lights inside the grille. All very cool stuff. There is a small fault with one of these lights on the right-hand side, but I was playing with it. It's a loose connection, so it probably just needs a connector changing and resoldering. Really, really simple little job to do. This pop-up light on the left-hand side has actually got a fractured bracket. Now, it's cast aluminium. Somebody would be able to weld that, but I didn't have time to get it out, change it. And when I open the bonnet, I will actually show you what I mean. It's a very, very simple little job, but as I said, there's no time left to work on this car. This is the bracket I was talking about. There's a broken piece there, and the original piece is still bolted to the other side. So it just requires unbolting this plate, taking the light out, which is a very cool design. I'd never worked on pop-up lights before, but this is your adjuster. But basically that just needs to be removed, the piece re-welded, and the light sat back in, and you're good to go. And as you can see, the engine bay is pretty clean. You can see the additional wiring that was run for this car originally. Obviously, I haven't touched any of these original pieces, but what I did find was that the wiring over the years wasn't particularly healthy, and temporarily I've put in Wago clips, which are perfectly safe, but it has meant that I've been able to run a new power into the old wiring, check the old wiring, find any breaks, any issues that I have, put in Wago clips, and then make it glaringly obvious for anybody that's going to take over this car how to find everything they need to find to run all the electrics in the car, which run in addition to the original dashboard. The car as it stands is just exceptional looking, beautiful black paintwork. But I suppose the bit that most people get excited with is this. Now, as I said, the most magical bit about this car is just the interior. I mean, it is just so wild. LEDs everywhere. You've got two screens. One goes to a DVD player, one goes to another stereo. You've got LEDs that work with the rev counter on the engine. This light cluster here, yes, you can see there's no lights in it. I have had this on my bench working and tested, and for some reason, I think when we reinstalled the dash, we may have caught a wire or something. So unfortunately, the dash needs to come out, but at the moment, it's not permanently fixed. What we actually did with this is we knew we were going to have to put it in and take it out multiple times because it was never installed correctly in the first place. So we actually use it extra strong Velcro, huge Velcro strips across the front so that we can mount it into the car. And then there's a brace underneath that holds this fiberglass here because it sits out quite a long way from the original dash, which is hidden behind. And then we knew we could take it out and put it back in and keep doing that until we were happy. And then we would actually put bolts going through the top here that would then have riv nuts in the original dash underneath, and then we'd be able to secure it. But as I said, the project has got to a point where we can't work on it anymore because it's got to go and find a new home. So these little bits and pieces do need doing, but it is quite cool when you're going through and playing with this. This is your pursuit button at the front that turns the lights on and off. The rest of this is, as you can see, is pre-programmed, so it's just doing cool little things to make it look interesting. But there are some cool things like these little pads either side of the steering wheel, and they've got like ski mode and smoke release and things like that. Now, we wanted to do some cool stuff with this where these would actually be connected up to different things on the car, but as I said, the project only went so far. But something incredibly nostalgic about that sound. I just, just love it. So the dashboard does need a little bit of work, but it's very easy to take out. You take off this panel at the front, which has, when you put it in properly, is basically Velcroed in place, which is nice and simple, so you can just tear it off. Get the bolt out of the steering wheel, and then the steering wheel comes off. This panel here has got 2 nuts inside it, so you release that from the dashboard. Really, really simple, M8 nuts. And then basically you can take that off, remove the whole dashboard, out it comes really easily. The door cards are okay, but they could do with being rebuilt. The biggest part that probably needs the most work is the interior, and especially the plastic trims. They're quite old and they've been sprayed very badly over the years. You can even see the plastic showing through in its old grey colour where the paint is coming off. That will need to be tackled by somebody, but removing interior trims is actually relatively simple. It's more about the time involved and then getting the old paint off and then having it prepped for respraying. There's a few bits of trim that need redoing on the roof. The Perspex sheet on the back is actually awaiting a final fit, so this can actually pop out quite easily, but when it's ready to go in, it needs to be put in a more permanent manner. When I look at this car, I always forget about the glass T-bar because it looks black from the outside, but that is so cool. There's so much light in here. It's such a great car, and I wish I was in a position to take it off my friend because I'd definitely drive this around. Now, this kit has something up its sleeve that other ones don't, or not as far as I'm aware. Now, with this car comes this laptop, and this laptop has had a purpose-built AI system created for the car, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. So we're going to do something sort of standard first, and then we'll ask it some other questions. Check system settings.
Good morning, Michael. Activating diagnostics. My internal sensors indicate a 90.8% efficiency rating, though I detect a slight fluctuation in the audio processing unit.
Now what I'm doing here is I'm turning the microphone on and off because as I'm talking to you, it would think I'm talking to it, and therefore it would start trying to process that. Now, the time it took to respond, because I've basically had to edit it slightly, it is a little bit slow. It took about 10 seconds to answer the question, but it is pretty much able to answer any question. Considering it's offline, it's a very, very cool system. So let's try something a little bit harder, because I could have just typed that in and asked it to say it. So why don't I ask it something more unusual, like, KITT, what is the best action movie of the 1980s?
Good morning, Michael. Based on critical analysis and user preference data, RoboCop represents the eggs of action cinema for 1980s. My calculations confirm a 92.7% positive response rate among Felag operative.
I think that's pretty cool. I've always loved this. So whoever buys the car is going to get this laptop and the software that comes with it. So something that is quite fun to play with and obviously could be installed in the car. The laptop can be hidden out the way. The microphone can be placed somewhere that you wouldn't be able to see it, and then you hook it up to the speakers. So this is going to be a very fun, very unique toy for somebody out there. Let's just do one more. KITT, what's your opinion on the 80s movie Blade Runner?
Good morning, Michael. Blade Runner is a profoundly thoughtful film, exhibiting a level of artistic merit rarely seen in action cinema. However, its deliberate ambiguity and focus on philosophical themes deviate significantly from the action genre's traditional priorities, making it a decidedly unconventional choice.
There you have it. Pretty impressive stuff. I can't get over this. It's so much fun to play with. The fact that it talks back to you in the correct voice for the car is just mind-bending. Anyway, I just thought this was something kind of special to share with you about the car. The bottom line though is a car like this is a labor of love. It's an old car that you're starting with, and it's going to take a lot to keep it on the road, much like my DeLorean. But if you're invested and you really want one on the road that much, this car has had hundreds of hours put into it to get it to this point. Yes, there are little bits and pieces that need to be done, but the majority of the work's already there. It just needs somebody to take it on and love it. And I hope that through this video I can find somebody who will take it on because it deserves a really good home. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.